everybody. Welcome back to What is Happening. In fact, what is happening is ego death. Ego death this year is at its all time high. Everybody is transcending and leaving their ego behind. What has ego done to us? In fact, most of us are just sick and tired of it. We're sick and tired of trying to live a better life, and ego seems to always be getting in the way. But is getting rid of it the best way to go about this? Only way to find out is figuring out what is ego.
What is ego? When you say I am ... anything that comes after the I am ... is part of your ego.
All right, so I thought this video would do a really good job at quickly explaining what is ego. But as a psych major, I just have to go into detail just a little bit. It just wouldn't be right. So ego is basically the conscious part of one's psyche. And it meditates between what is it called? The primal desire, which is id, and the moral construct, which is superego. And an example of this is, I want to quit my job. And that is a desire. That's the primal desire. I'm tired of this. I want to quit my job. The moral construct of ourself is, no, you got bills. Are you crazy? And in between that is in between that is ego. And ego is basically the I am, who you deem yourself to be. And if I am responsible, I am a responsible person, I'm going to go with super ego, because a responsible person would not quit their job without having another one to fall back on. So I am a responsible person, so I'm not going to quit my job. But if I am more aligns with the primal desire, then I'm going to go ahead and state that I am irresponsible. So I'm going to go ahead and align with primal desire and quit my job. So I hope that example kind of gives you guys a pretty much a good idea of what ego, the most simplest form of what ego is utilized for.
Ego is a construct. It is not actually who you are or what you are. So I can say that I am a doctor, but that is not a real thing. You can't biopsy me and find a doctor. You can't x-ray me and find a doctor. I was me before I was a doctor, and I'm me after I was a doctor. So how can being a doctor be a part of who I truly am? What it is a part of ego, right? It is a construction that I wrap around myself.
All right, so based on the video and the definition of ego, it doesn't seem as an ego death is all necessary, like completely necessary. It might be a cleanse. You might just need a cleanse. You might need to get rid of the toxicity part of oneself, the part that stops you from being you. The complete death of an ego doesn't quite make much sense, because ego's gonna come back. It's the balance. It's there. It needs to make the decision. It's the management. You can't just get rid of the manager, because the workers, the employees are gonna go wild. They're gonna do whatever they want. And between primal desire and moral construct, we don't know which one's gonna kick in. So we need the manager to make the decision. I think the cleanse makes better sense. And one might say that the ego death is a cleanse, because, to be reborn again, you need to die. So if that's the whole concept of an ego death, is to completely die and be reborn again, it seems as if it's not quite necessary, because you have really good part of your ego that doesn't need to die. Between the toxic part of oneself and then the other side of oneself, you don't need to kill off your entire ego in order to start fresh. You can cleanse it off. And I'm not sure if everybody has experienced ego death. I don't think I've experienced an ego death. I think I've mainly experienced a cleanse, where I'm realizing the parts of my ego that just does not serve me anymore. There's no need for it, and it actually limits me. So I've learned to slowly remove those constructs from oneself, from myself. But I would love to hear you guys' thought on this. To die or not to die, that seems to be the question. But all in all, I don't think a lot of us have experienced ego death. I strongly believe that we've all felt like we've experienced it because we've had to actually done some deep inner work. But that deep ego death that we seem to all be having these discussion on, I don't think 99% of us have actually experienced it. And if you feel like you've not experienced an ego death, I think that is perfectly okay. I myself have never felt like I've experienced an ego death. I feel like I have definitely experienced some sort of cleanse. A better me has been reformed, and that is what is important. Although people make ego death seems to be this thing, this experience that we all need to experience. Again, I don't think most of us are actually, 99% of us are actually even experiencing that. And that's okay. That's okay. The goal is to be better, a better version of who we were when we first started. But that is what's going on in the world in 2026. And thank you for joining me in this discussion. And I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. Feel free to write down the comments if you agree, disagree, or a third, a third opinion. Feel free to write it down. I am here to learn from you guys. So always feel free to correct me if you don't think that I am giving the best information or the most accurate information. But thank you for joining me, you guys. Take care.